What is up, guys? How's it going, YouTube world? It has been a long time since I've actually posted any type of video to you guys on YouTube. It's been quite a few weeks. Life has been busy ever since I got home from my trip to Alaska and all that stuff. Um, I think the last video that I actually posted for you guys to watch was the night before of disembarking off of Ovation of the Seas and all that stuff. So yeah, it's been kind of like, busy, kind of like, like few weeks leading up to, like, now the holidays are coming here and that. So I'm getting all that situated and getting that done, making all my gifts and all. So yeah. But overall, the trip itself, it was good. Had a few moments where kind of felt down and really upset because we couldn't get to some of the ports in Alaska. We couldn't get into Skagway, Sitka, and all that stuff because there was like heavy winds and a storm going through the towns and all that stuff. So we could not make it there. We did get into Juneau, but they cut the time in half for Juneau. So we were supposed to be in Juneau for 12 noon all the way up until 10 at night. But unfortunately, due to, the high winds and the storm coming, they had to cut that short, which was like really sad because we didn't really get to have much time in Juneau. But the captain thought it would be kind of nice in that to sweeten the deal. He ended up putting in Ketchikan and that for us to go to, which was like really generously nice of him to do that so that we at least we get to go to another port other than Skagway and Sitka. But unfortunately, because of that wicked storm, we couldn't even port there too. So we only got to the port of Juneau, and that was it. And then we had to head south down to Victoria, British Columbia. We spent the night in Victoria, so we had a whole and complete full day in Victoria and partially a half a day in Victoria. So it was quite nice getting off the ship at night and you can actually, like, walk around, get some fresh air, and go see the Parliament building while it's all lit up. Go to the gift shop and look around and all that stuff, and getting this second kind of like look around and all. So it was quite nice to do all that. So it was great, but at the same time it's kind of a Debbie Downer that we never got to go to Skagway and Sitka. But on a good note, I am actually taking my daughter next year to Alaska on her very first ever cruise. We're going on Quantum of the Seas, which we're really excited. It's like a same replica of Ovation, but Quantum was the very first of its class of those ships and that. So we're going on that ship next year. So it's going to be great. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, entertaining, and it'll be the first time for her to going on a cruise ship and that. I'm going to see how it goes and that, how she likes it and all. So, it's going to be great. I'm excited. Gotta say one thing. Okay, so these, I don't know if you guys can see this because of the light. There we go. So this is what you get when you get on board on your cruise ship and that. So this is your key as enhanced. I'm not really good with my key cards and that while I was on the cruise ship. But okay, so backstory about like my first room key, this one. So when I was actually checking on in at the cruise terminal at Pier 91, I scanned my boarding pass and that to getting on the ship. They had my name spelled wrong. So my name is actually technically Brittany. That's my last name, but guys. But they had everything incorrect. They spelt my name wrong and I had to go get a new card. So this was my original card when I first got to my room. But when they actually spelled my name wrong and all that stuff, I had to go to guest services and get a new card. Well, I was kind of wondering why my card was not working. I thought maybe I demagnetized it because I had it near my phone or something. So I had to go to guest services. So I had to go get another card. So in total, I have three cards and all that stuff. But actually, these came handy, and not so many people actually think about this. If you guys have extra like cruising cards like this, like one of these and that, if you guys end up like, losing one, or you end up finding it, keep the card. And the best thing is use your card to put into the light switch area. Because when you want to turn on the lights in your cabin room, you need to put your room key or your card. So you can tap to getting into your room, or this is your card to purchase your beverages, like your alcoholic or non-alcoholic and all that stuff, or buying gifts on the ship. I learned this and that. Actually, my daughter's father learned this. He thought, hey, why don't we actually use one of your old cards so we don't have to use our actual room keys, because it'll be super easy, and just put our room key in, and then we'll keep the lights on and all that stuff. And when we leave, we can just turn all the lights off. And I said, hey, that's a good idea. So we put the room key, works the charm, and we had it in all throughout the whole entire cruise without losing, or even had to take away from our actual room key that brought us on and off the ship, or even into our room, or purchased our beverages and that. We had it on us all the time. So as one is actually in the light switch, our actual ones that we actually walked around, and then we had to do what we had to do, and that was with us in that. So you can actually use an old room key that you don't really use, or you can actually use an old business card, which I did have this business card that it belongs to my travel agent. I had this in, and it worked and all that stuff, and it worked great. And the only reason why it worked great is because this business card is a little bit thick, in that it's like a thick material and how it's made. So when you put it in, it still worked, and it worked like a charm. So if you have like an old business card and all that stuff, you can use that, but I think it's highly not recommendable, because in case it rips and it gets stuck into that light switch thing and that, yeah. So kind of bring an old library card, or some gift card that you don't even use anymore, that has no greater value to you. Put it in, and you got a permanent key thing to turn on and off your lights all the time. So yeah, we end up taking this business card out because we were afraid that this might rip and be stuck in the light switch area and would never be taken out. So we took that out and used one of my old room keys. So that was one thing that we did, which was super handy, and it was great. It was awesome, and that was the only thing that I actually really liked it. And that, but the light switch in our cabin room. Now, the only thing that my daughter's father wished is that he wished that there was a plug-ins area where you can plug your phone in to charge on both sides of the beds. So the plug-in was on the right side of the bed, so only one person could have access to it. So he had access to it so that he can plug his little travel fan and have it blowing on him, and it kind of builds circulation around the room. And then I didn't have anything, which at this point I really didn't even care, but it would have been kind of nice to have my own little plug-in too as well, so then I can actually plug my phone in, charge it, maybe set an alarm, so then I can get up in the morning, have a shower, do whatever. But at the same time, it's always best to have your phone by the vanity and have it charging there, because if your alarm did go off, you had a reason to get out of bed to doing it. And when you're out of bed, well, then you can just go and have a shower and do whatever you needed to do. But that was one of his wishes and all that stuff, and it was it was like, yeah, it was nice to having maybe more like plugins, but you're only allowed to have a certain amount in every room. So overall, the room was great. The room was actually, it was spick and span. It was clean, very clean. The shower, I've seen like other like Royal Caribbean ships and that they had those like kind of like bifold, like, you know, closing ones that you close it like there, and it's, and like the kind of like the material that kind of like, you know, kept the water out and all that stuff is made from like a plastic material, which I don't really like. So when I went to the washroom, we had a shower. It was full on glass, which was nice. I liked it, the shower. It was a nice, like, you know, glass, and, you know, like it opened up smoothly. And the temperature of the water was hot. The first day when we got on ship, it wasn't as hot, but the rest of the nights on the ship, the water of the temperature in the shower was hot. There was times I had to adjust the temperature because it was too hot, and I started coughing because of the steam. But overall, the room was clean. The size of the bathroom was a perfect size for two people. And did I say our room was a virtual balcony? Probably forgot to tell you guys that. Yeah, so our room was a virtual balcony, and our room that we stayed in was 8187, which is an interior virtual balcony, like, you know, room and all that stuff. I think it's called a stateroom. And it was great. At first I thought it was going to be like, oh, well, it's going to be a little bit hokey and all that stuff, kind of having like a pretend virtual balcony in your room. But it was actually beneficial because it kind of felt like you're not like secluded from the world, and you got to see outside from, like, you know, from the front of the ship, the side of the ship and all. So it was quite nice to have like that opportunity to seeing outside, and it kind of made the room a little bit more bigger. Even though it's an interior stateroom, but with the virtual balcony, it gave it a special touch of having a little bit more space. It felt, you didn't feel like you're claustrophobic and having a small dark space. It was actually quite open, and it was quite nice. A lot of leg space, a lot of like places to walk around in the room, and that long as you put your stuff away, it was quite nice in some perspectives in that. The wardrobe was nice. There was so much space in there too for all your stuff that needed to be hung. If you needed any extra hangers, you would actually just ask your stateroom attendant, and then they could actually bring you extra hangers or extra pillows, or if you needed like your sheets to be changed and all that stuff, they would actually do that. Everything was amazing. And our lady that we had that did our room every single day, her name was Arlene, and she was amazing. So if she's still on the ship, and if you guys are on Ovation of the Seas right now and you have her in that, she's amazing. She is incredible. She is like the sweetest woman in the planet, and she really was like hands-on, super helpful, answering all the questions that you needed to know. Even the questions of like disembarking day, or like what time our luggage needed to be outside of our rooms the night before when we had to disembark. She had all that information, in which was amazing. In the dining room, there's 4 dining rooms, but the menu does not change. So if you guys are thinking, well, we're going into this dining room, but there's this dining room. So each dining room has its different theme. I forget the themes of each dining room, but I think there's the grand, oh my gosh. We were in the American Icon Grill, but there was the Grand, and then there was 2 more, and I forget what it was called. And man, it will just bother the life of me. The menu of each dining room never changed. You guys all got the same thing. It's just that the dining room itself had a different theme, had a different look, and all that stuff. That's the only thing that's different. But overall, we were in American Icon Grill. It was great. Our waiter name was John. He was incredible, super hands-on. If you had any allergies to food or you had sensitivity to food, you would just let him know. He would research. He would go ask the chef itself what kind of ingredients were in there. He would report back to you, and then he would actually making sure that whatever you needed for your meals or whatever you needed to eat that was comfortability for you and your needs, he went above and beyond, and he made sure that you gotten the proper help that you needed. And he was amazing too as well. So big shout out to John. I forget what table we sat at. Here. Got the key. We were sitting at table 508. 508 was our table, and our waiter is John. And it was quite nice. He was very super hands-on, and he was actually quite kind, had nice simple conversations, and that kind of made you feel welcome. And if you're running a little bit late, maybe 5 or 10 minutes late because you're trying to get yourself ready or something just came about or something occurred, don't worry, don't panic. You still have time to go in there and eat. During port days, I know that there's a lot of people that are at port walking around the town. I noticed that I was having a panicking moment. We got back on ship because we saw what we needed to see, but we noticed that the time was kind of coming near because we actually chose traditional timing. So our dining room time was for 5 o'clock. So we had the early time dining, and I thought that we were going to be late. And so the dining room wasn't that busy because everybody's exploring off port in Juneau and all that stuff. So we actually were thinking, oh God, we're going to be missing our time. We're going to miss out. But he actually just told us don't rush. Don't have to stress. We'll still take you and all that stuff, which was quite nice. So we were actually about maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes late for our dinner, but they still took us in. We got to sit at our regular seat and enjoy the rest of the evening, have a great meal, have a great time, have great conversation with our waiter and all that stuff, talk about our exploring and all, and it was great. It was fun. Entertainment was great too. The Cplex, oh my gosh. I wish I could actually show you guys some pictures of the Cplex and what it looked like inside. I was just having so much fun, and I was having such a great time. I didn't video very much on the ship. I did video a taste test of Alaskan treats and all that stuff, our room, and the day that we left. But I didn't really want to video that much because there was just so much to do and see, and it was so much fun. I wanted to take in as so much of the vacation itself that I actually thought, I want to enjoy the moment, because if you're consistently filming and having the camera on all the time, you're not going to actually experience and have a great time. So I decided to not film that much on the trip. And including, I didn't take very many photos because I was just having that much of a good time. But there was a couple moments that I did get sick. One of the days at sea, when we had to miss out on Sitka and including Skagway and including Ketchikan, we spent 2 days at sea going back down to Victoria, British Columbia. One of those days at sea, it was the day before. So not the day before, when we got into Victoria, it was the day before that. The sea was quite rough, so I did get a little bit seasick. And that, thank God to seasickness pills or motion sickness pills, it came very handy. So I ended up taking those, and I actually started feeling better, and I ended up walking around the ship, and that's when I saw the Cplex. It was massive. You can actually play basketball in the Cplex, pickleball. They did capture the flag, I think, a couple of times. On the top, there is like an Xbox area for all the kids that want to play like video games. There's air hockey, there's foosball, and there's like ping pong too. There's an arcade in there. You can do bumper cars as well. Yeah, that's right. You heard it right. There's bumper cars on the ship. You can actually get something to eat at the Cplex hot dog place, and that, which they had great selection and great choices. But I kind of wish this is kind of like a wish I really wish they did have. I wish that they had a vegetarian option or a vegan option, because I don't really digest well with like regular hot dogs. I usually go for like the vegetarian or vegan hot dogs and all that stuff. When I go to IKEA, I always get the vegan hot dog because it tastes so much better than a regular hot dog. So they didn't have that kind of an option, so I didn't really eat anything there. Now I'm not saying that I am a like a vegan or a vegetarian. I'm not that. I do eat meat. I do like my chicken. I do like my beef. I do like my pork. I'm semi-okay when it comes towards fish. As long as it's cod, then I'm good. I do like I like my prawns, I like my shrimp, all those kind of delicious foods and all, which I'm going to say this, the jumbo like shrimp prawns, or like, you know, the like, what's it called? The shrimp cocktails on the ship. Delicious. Mwah. Mwah. If you guys wanted extra, they brought you extra. If you wanted more, they brought you more. And it was so good. Yeah, the Cplex was it was a nice space where you can actually just do like some activities in there. They do had a rock climbing wall, but unfortunately the rock climbing wall was closed due to like, you know, the weather, and because since the ship was moving quite a bit, they didn't have that going. They did have a skydiving simulator in there too, but unfortunately that was closed, and including the surfing simulator. There was like so much on the ship that were closed because due to the weather. But overall, when it was open, it was kind of cool watching people like, you know, learning to surf or doing boogie boarding and that, or doing skydiving simulators and all that stuff, and doing rock climbing. It was quite nice to watch, and the kids were actually having a good time in that. So it was so much fun. My favorite art display is outside, close to where the rock climbing wall is. There's a mother and baby panda outside. Absolutely loved it. I absolutely did. I got a photo with it. I use it for my, like, you know, I use that picture for like for my profile picture on my social medias, like my private social media. But overall, the trip was great. I kind of wish I can have my daughter's father come on to my YouTube channel and talking about his wishes and likes, but he's really nervous on coming on camera. So I will try and get him to write down some wishes and likes that he liked it and all that stuff. But overall, the trip was great. I'm excited to take my daughter next year on Quantum and seeing how she likes the cruise ship and that, and see how she likes Alaska and just doing the amazing adventure and experience and all. And then the next trip, after the next year's trip to Alaska is done and over with, I am going to be saving up for another cruise, and I want to save up as much money as possible for this trip. And it's going to be a goal of mine to hopefully I can set foot on this ship, and I'm really pumped about it, and I hope I can get on this ship. But the next ship I want to go on, so I won't be going on any, like, you know, vacations from like after the last trip I'm going to be on next year. So after that trip, from that point on and onwards, probably saving up for the next 3 to 4 years, depending on how much I have to save. But the next ship I want to go on is Icon of the Seas. It is something that I actually wanted to try and go on. Just seeing the amenities, the things that you can see on board, the food that you can try, and just the experience and all that stuff. There's water slides, there's rock climbing, there's like a cliff walk or something, like, you know, some sort and all. You can actually go into a pool and have a drink in a pool while sitting on a stool. In that, there's so many pools, there's so much entertainment. There is like a carousel, I believe, on that ship too. There's so much to see and do on the ship, and I am like excited, and that is one of my biggest goals. I really want to go on is the Icon of the Seas. So hopefully in the next 3 to 4 years or 5 years down the road, I will be on that ship. And that is one of my biggest goals ever. If you guys can hear me tapping my foot, I'm meaning it. I'm putting my foot down. So yeah. But overall, the whole entire trip was great, other than we had a few mishaps, missing some ports and getting, like, you know, nauseous and feeling sick. But overall, the trip is great. If you are on the ship of Ovation of the Seas, I hope you're having a great time wherever location you are at. And if you're planning to maybe book a cruise, maybe try Ovation. It's fun. It's exciting. I loved it. I miss it. But there's so many other Royal Caribbean ships. I really want to try out different cruise lines and seeing which one actually kind of works with me. So I might do that as a kind of like a small little hobby and going away somewhere and just go cruising and have fun. So overall, I just wanted to make this video for you guys to watch, and that I know this video is quite long, but I haven't made a video in such a long time. I have a cute little outfit. I'm going to show you this quickly. So I have this outfit and I have this purse. So next week there is going to be a ticket drop to go see Taylor Swift through Ticketmaster, thankfully. And I'm hoping to score a ticket to her show. I don't want to go through any other ticket providers like SeatGeek, StubHub, TakePick, and all that stuff. Don't want to go through all that stuff. I just want to go through Ticketmaster because I feel more secure and safe with that than going through those other ones and all. But yeah, I got my outfit ready to go see Taylor Swift. If I do go see her, I'm excited because next week is the last 3 stops of her tour in Vancouver. And I'm excited, and I'm crossing my fingers that I do get tickets to her show. And if I do, I am going to have so much fun and enjoy it and have one heck of a good time. So yeah, I am just waiting for next week to happen, because once the stage is set, once the stage has been built, they're going to release maybe a few more tickets, and I'm hoping I'm going to be the one who be the lucky one to snag one of those tickets. So yeah, wish me luck, guys, because it is a gauntlet. Apparently it's like a bloodbath to get these tickets. So I'm excited, cannot wait. And yeah, but anywho, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. Question of the day, since we were talking about cruise ships, what cruise lines is your favorite? And if you are on a cruise ship, what cruise ship are you on? And if you are planning a cruise, what cruise line are you going through, and where are you guys going to? I like to have a conversation, like, kind of pool on my YouTube channel, so we all can, like, you know, have communication about cruise ships, having fun and all that stuff and that. And maybe too, if you have a cruise line that you can recommend for me to go on, tell me why I should go on this cruise ship and why you love that cruise lines. And maybe I'll give that cruise lines a shot. But overall, guys, I hope you guys have a great day. and have a magnificent day. Hopefully the weather is very well where you are. If not, do stay warm, and if it's too hot, please do stay cool. So until then, stay true, stay you, stay positive too, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace, 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 and bye-bye.